Good morning, everyone. I am Geraldine Gemao, and our topic is all about curriculum adaptation in mathematics for students. So, for the first one, we have students with specific learning disabilities. So, specific learning disabilities, it is a disorder that interferes with a student's ability to listen, to learn, to think, write, or spell, or do math calculations. And the curriculum adaptation in mathematics of children with or students with specific learning disabilities are adapting. The first one is adapting instructional strategies. It is very important now that we also consider the individual tagsa-tagsa na mga bata, and we must learn how and what kind of strategies na suit sa ilaha. For the next one is adapting instructional materials. Same as the strategies, it is also important na we consider the kanang individual students na kanang unsay suit na kanang materials para sila ha, kanang for the nice some of the students with specific learning disabilities na kanang suit sa ilaha na kanang mag-watch o kanang visual or kanang mag-listen. And then the next one is adapting the readability written level of written materials. So since the child has a specific learning disability, it is very important that the materials you use are readable. One is designing materials with features that appeal to sensory modalities other than visual or auditory. So other than visual or auditory, which are the usual materials that we use, we can also use different materials para unsay suit sa bata. And next is selecting alternate instructional materials for their durability or safety features. And for the last one is adapting curricular content. For children with learning disabilities, now it is important that the curriculum is modified, and that's it. So the next one is social, emotional, and behavioral disorders. An emotional and behavioral disorders negatively impacts a child's ability to be successful in school, control feelings and actions, and generally happy in life. So some of the curriculum adaptation in mathematics for children with social, emotional, and behavioral disorders are: first one is choice-making opportunities. For students with social, emotional, and behavioral issues, more likely to have less interest in focusing in studying, and giving them freedom to choose what makes them feel makes them feel more worthy, because they feel like they're given a chance to pick what they like. So next is previewing. It is a strategy that readers use to recall prior knowledge and set a purpose for reading. The next one is mnemonic instruction. It is a set of strategies designed to help students improve their memory of new information. So next is adjust talk difficulty. Since we are talking about mathematics now, and we are dealing with children with social, emotional, behavioral disorder, it is important that we also consider the phrases we use. We should also kanang be sensitive sa kanang words na magawa sa tong bakba, and the tone of our voice and our approach. And next is personalized system of instruction. And same as the others, it is important that also consider the students, like the individual sa ilaha, and make personalized system of instruction. Maghimo tawag ka ng personal instruction based sa kana na bata. For the third one is the attention deficit hyperactive disorder, or ADHD. ADHD is a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by excessive amounts of inattention, carelessness, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. Some of the curricular adaptation in mathematics for children with ADHD, like increasing instructional time, patason ng oras para sa mga bata sa kanang pagbuhat og math or pag-solve og math. Next, using effective instruction. It is very important no kanang mo-use yung tawag effective instruction para sa mga bata. And we also consider the individual as what I am saying, and then Next is varying group size. It is important that there are times that you should group your students, sometimes like small groups or bigger groups. The small groups focus siya sa bata gani, like matagaan og chance ang teacher na makafocus sa bata. Next is using real life examples. It is much easier no for teachers to teach their children, especially children with ADHD, if they use real life examples. Like kanang kuan man gud siya kanang relatable sa bata, mao siya kanang mas easy gani. So for the next one is we have communication disorder. Communication disorder is a developmental or acquired impairment to an individual's speech, language, or hearing, and some individuals face deficits in more than one area. So some of the curriculum adaptation mathematics for children or students with communication disorder are reduce unnecessary noise in the classroom. Since they are very sensitive, people with communication disorder are very sensitive, it is very important that we should lessen the noise inside the classroom. Next is be near the students and repeat the instruction. Since they are difficult in communication or hearing or speech, lisod sa ilha masabot. So as a teacher, it is your duty to repeat the instruction all over again until they will hear it or they will understand the instruction. So next is speak clearly. Next is allow students to tape lecture. This adaptation really helps students with communication disorder for them to para ma-watch nila balik ang kanang lesson kanang not even inside even not inside the classroom. So next is focus on student strength as much as possible. As a teacher, it is your obligation to teach your students, and of course you must encourage your students, and do not say na kanang unsa ang ilahang kahinaan ayo isulti jud. So next is use a visual reminder. Next is allow extra time to complete. So since mathematics is very hard subject, you should also give your students time to complete the tasks, like more time, and as much as possible kanang time na kanang sapat ra jud para sa kana na problem. And next is autism spectrum disorder. Autism spectrum disorder is a condition related to brain development that impacts how a person perceives or socializes with others, causing problems in social interaction and communication. So some of the curriculum adaptation in mathematics for students with autism, first is identify your child's interest and use it to teach math concepts. Same as the others, it is very important that you as a teacher, you should know your students' interest. You should know kung unsa ilhang mga capabilities and abilities. Next is capitalize on their visual spatial learning style. List out math facts. So it is also important no na you teach math using kanang visual examples, visual aids, pictures, cards, or anything. So next is make teaching math fun by playing games. Since children with autism, no, it's very hard for them to socialize with other people. It is important that kanang dili gani sila ma-bored while teaching math. So that's why they can use different strategies like games para mas malingaw ang ilang pagkat-on. Next, use technology to help those students whose fine motor skills aren't as developed. So since nanta sa digital age, we can use technology to help our students. So next is provide praise as often as possible. So aside from those strategies, it is also important that these students will hear good words or phrases or praise na madunggan nila silang mga from their teachers para ma-encourage sila ma-learn og math. That's it. The continuation for this topic will be reported by Beher.